Um, what do you appreciate about Tanette?
Oh man, am I allowed to curse in this video? That's what I wanted to know.
I appreciate her transparency. I also appreciate the loyalty and the care that she provides to each and every one of us in her office.
I appreciate that Tanette is a total badass. She advocates really hard for all of us, but she's also really proud to celebrate successes when people pursue other opportunities.
My absolute favorite thing about Tanette is her big, beautiful smile. Apart from her smile, I love her humility. She is an amazing woman, but I find it so amazing that she's so humble and down to earth despite her accomplishments and how long she's been here and her institutional knowledge. So, keeping it real.
All right, so what do you appreciate about Michael?
What I appreciate about Michael is his leadership style and how he tries to pull out the best from me. I'm a new person to the team and he's just really supportive and he wants me to be successful. I appreciate him helping lay out the land and landmines and letting me know how to be successful and who to reach out to. So I also appreciate that he's a great advocate.
I think what I most appreciate about Michael is that he doesn't give up. When Michael thinks and feels that something is important, he does everything he can to advance it. And even when he runs into obstacles, really big obstacles, sometimes he gets it done.
What do you appreciate about Thomas?
I appreciate the way that Thomas takes a lot of care in everything he does. I think he's very intentional, whether that's in kind of checking in with his staff and seeing how our weeks are going, how our quarters are going, and then also always looking for opportunities where we can learn new things, where we can try out different programs, and always being there to answer our questions. I know I ask a million questions, so I really appreciate that about Thomas.
What makes you grateful for Lily?
I am grateful because she always asks me about my personal health and am I taking care of myself and what's going on with me personally before we start talking about business. So I really appreciate that she understands how the two are connected.
Okay, Joe, what do you appreciate about Lily?
I think one thing that I've really appreciated about Lily from working in this division is her leadership style is really inclusive. She tries to include everyone, tries to bring multiple voices to the table, and really tries to take a strengths-based approach out of that, which I think is really helpful for the division. I think there's a lot of pressure on her, and I think she handles it well for the entire restructuring of the division and all of the multiple critiques that are given to her. So I appreciate that. I also appreciate her approach of individual attention to people. I know a couple times when I've been working with students, she reaches out one-on-one and actually has accessibility to students, which is different than I've seen in other institutions. She's approachable to undergrad and graduate students, so I think that's something that's really admirable.
Absolutely.
What do you appreciate most about Nikki Latino?
What do I appreciate most? There are so many things. Most about Nikki. Authenticity. Can I choose a second one?
You can choose as many as you'd like.
And the laugh. The laugh is just the best, the most infectious, happy sound. Yeah, that is absolutely the best. Authenticity is number one, but the laugh is coming right up there. It's really close. It's a good one. Yeah.
I appreciate that she always has an answer to whatever situation comes up. Her toolbox is as big as the university, and she knows how to address anything that comes at her almost on the fly as well. She is also a very positive, upbeat person. She really does take an interest in not only the student body, but the staff and faculty at the university. Basically, she bleeds higher education and is a great role model for the rest of us.
She's pure light. Like the energy that she brings to her team, to every single space and place that she holds. You can just tell that she just truly cares about you as an individual and the work that we're doing to really help and support students. So genuine. I guess like pure light is the best way I can describe that.
Okay. What do you appreciate about Rudy?
The thing I appreciate most about Rudy is his support that he shows all of the staff, especially including the grads. I think he makes us feel really appreciated and welcomed in this department.
I appreciate that he brings our department some structural organization.
I really appreciate how approachable he is. While he may wear a suit and tie every day, I feel like he's like the easiest person to talk to. He's always there for his staff, and he brings a lot of enthusiasm and like oomph to our team, which is nice.
He cares about the people he works with. His immediate goal in first coming on was just trying to get this team together. It was a bunch of different folks coming from a bunch of different past work in CLIE, and suddenly having to put together this new department and go in a whole new direction. And from the get-go, he was so great about just what does everyone need? What are everyone's talents? How do we best utilize that? How do we make sure everyone feels a part of this and feels empowered to do the work that they're doing? And I think that's a rare talent and one that is so needed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
EB, what do you appreciate about Carrie?
So what I appreciate about Dr. Carrie Panigvar is that she's very trusting, she's very genuine, she's very loving, and overall is one of the best leaders that I've worked with. Being in this new role, I would definitely not be successful without her support, without her direction, and just passion to want to create an environment that people just want to live in, people want to be in, and people want to thrive in. And so that's what I really appreciate about her, is just her overall nature as a leader. It's very contagious, and it always just makes you want to do a better job.
I think what I appreciate most about Carrie is I see her as a really engaged leader. Just engaged not only with me personally, but definitely with our entire team. And that means from RAs and desk assistants all the way up to the leadership with Mandy and I and Sheldon and John and EB. And I just feel that she's really present and really carves out the space to listen and give advice and offer feedback. And it just really means a lot to feel really cared for personally, not only professionally, but personally too.
So I would say there are a multitude of reasons that I am appreciative of Carrie. I think the biggest part is just the care that she shows for our department, the willingness she is to allow us to have autonomy and to create and to continue to push ourselves forward and to be the best that we possibly can, and to do the best by our students and our team. And I love the fact that she wants us all to be the best professionals and the best people personally as well, which is really, really important. I also kind of like her because she's my friend, but I really do appreciate that she values the people that we are.
Okay, Kelly, what do you appreciate about Kent?
I really appreciate that Kent is really supportive, and he is always willing to listen, even when it might seem like a crazy idea. He will consider it, and he's just been a really great boss to work with because he is so open and somebody that we can talk to.
So I think the number one thing that comes to mind when I think of Kent and what I appreciate is his intelligence. I think he's really smart, and I think that he's really understanding and helpful when maybe something's not as easy to learn for me. So I really appreciate that in his role he imparts that wisdom, I guess, on me.
What I really appreciate about Kent is his open door policy. Can really go in there at any time and talk about almost anything. and he's always willing to listen, so I appreciate that. As well as his response time. He always responds to emails, telephone calls immediately, and I really appreciate that. There's so many other things, but I know we're on limited time.
So, what do you appreciate about Heidi?
I appreciate a lot about Heidi. I appreciate her approach to leadership and, in particular, the way that she advocates and cares for her staff.
What I appreciate about Heidi is her willingness to coach and support all of her staff. Her door is always open and she's willing to make time for us. And all of the times I have visited with Heidi and learned so much from her guidance, I never feel pressed, and I always feel like I walk away with some actionable support or some guidance for the future. There's always something new to learn from Heidi.
What I appreciate and love so much about Heidi is her support for each of us individually, supporting a work-life balance, always being there, always having her door open, and giving us very constructive feedback and brilliant with new ideas and ways of doing things.
I appreciate Heidi on so many levels. She is the best person in the role that she's in. She is one of the most strategic people I've ever had the chance to work with. She's an advocate for us. She cares deeply about your staff and students and all of our stakeholders. She also creates an environment that allows us to bring our best selves to work each day.
What I appreciate about Heidi Perman is that I can at times be a little bit difficult in that I focus hard in a space and try with all my might to do my very best within it, and sometimes that takes me down the rabbit hole, you know. And one thing I love about Heidi is that she's very measured. She's very systematic in her approach to things. I've kind of teased her that she's an overcharter, but I'm just kidding. I think it's incredible that she's able to create a visual roadmap for everyone to follow. And she can be a little conservative for a girl like me in her approach, but at the same time, her conservatism is what is leading us into a new frontier with a lot of integrity and wow. And she puts the human first, and I feel like since I've come to DU, sometimes I'm like way up and way down, and she helps me find the way to measure right through the whole thing. And I think she's one of the best leaders I've ever worked for, and I've worked for many, and I just really appreciate Heidi every day. And I think part of the reason that I've been here through the chaos is because of her leadership. So thank you, Heidi. You're great.